Hello, this is Mr. Renner's YouTube channel, and today I want to talk to the Year 10s about the failure of the Schlieffen Plan. Just to back up what we did in class today, but also for anybody that is struggling to Zoom, or anybody who came out of the lesson and thought, I need a bit more on that. Okay, so we're going to look at the plan itself. It's called the Schlieffen Plan, obviously, because Alfred von Schlieffen wrote the plan in 1905. It's a German plan, and the idea behind it is a preparation for war, okay? And it tells you something about the likelihood of war if somebody is writing a plan in 1905. It's got a few key ideas, and here's the 5 major assumptions, 5 major ideas that von Schlieffen came up with. Number 1, we've got to avoid a war on 2 fronts. Von Schlieffen was aware that if the Germans fought the French and the Russians at the same time, they'd probably lose because of the nature of the armies that they had, the size of their armies in comparison to the German and the Austro-Hungarian forces. Number 2, von Schlieffen believed that the Russians would mobilise their troops slowly. It would take about 6 weeks to mobilise their troops. Number 3, he believed that he could go through Belgium, avoiding the French forts such as Verdun, the Fort Vaux and Dumont in Verdun, which are big forts near the German border. And by going through Belgium very quickly, he could get round the west side of Paris. And number 4, he believed that the British would not get involved. And number 5, he believed that the Belgians would not put up much resistance. Okay, now for various reasons, which we could go into A-level wise or even degree wise, the plan isn't going to work. We could have a massive debate about whether that's von Schlieffen's fault or the guy who was in charge of the German army in 1914, a guy von Moltke. This is M-O-L-T-K-E, von Moltke. But let's be honest, that's not going to be on the exam. What's going to be on the exam? Some general principles about why it did not work. And here again are 5 reasons why it doesn't work. Number 1, the Russians mobilise far quicker than von Schlieffen predicted. It takes them 2 weeks, not 6 weeks. That's probably because they've already started to get their troops ready during the July crisis, which we did last week, and also because by the time you get to 1914, railway systems in Russia have improved from 1905. Number 2, invading Belgium does not mean that the British don't get involved. In fact, it means the British do get involved. The British have signed a treaty in 1839 called the Treaty of London with the Belgians, and they will go to war. Okay, the Kaiser says the British won't go to war over a scrap of paper. He is wrong. Number 3, the Belgians put up a lot more resistance than the Germans thought they would. They have big forts, particularly at Liège, but also to the north of Belgium. They flood their own country to stop the Germans' advance, slow it down. So, number 4, the British fight at the Battle of Mons in August, which is near the Belgian town of Mons, obviously on the Condé Canal. And although the British have a very small force, it's called the British Expeditionary Force, they slow the Germans down on the Condé Canal. They fight a retreating battle at the Battle of Le Cateau, further south in Belgium. So by the time we get to the September of 1914, the Germans do not go round the west side of Paris, they go the east side of Paris, and that means that the plan is unravelling very, very, very quickly. So in September, 21st of September, I think it is, the Battle of the Marne starts, and the British and the French push the Germans back the River Marne. Now, as we'll see next lesson, both sides try to get to the sea by outflanking each other as they do their building trench systems. And we'll see how trench systems were formed next lesson. But today's lesson on Zoom, which we did, you've got a PowerPoint that's gone out for you, you've got a video for homework to listen to as well. And if you really get desperate and you're thinking, I'm missing Mr. V, you can watch this video.